Welcome back to Master the Fun, and today we're in Guild Wars 2, and we're going to be doing some weeklies. As you can see here, if we click this upper icon, the second, at least on mine it is, the second to the right, or from the right, on the upper left side of the screen, it'll show you here, as you can see the tabs on the top, daily, weekly, and special. We're going to be focusing on mostly the weeklies here, since there's a need to kill 50 awakened or risen. So we'll focus on the risen for now, since we happen to be, from our last video, we're still in ore. As you can see here, we're in ore, ruins of ore, and we're in the Straits of Devastation in our favorite spot, near the crippled bridges to the northeast. So we're getting hurt here. Okay, so we're in that spot, and what does it happen to have? Lots of risen. So we'll just take some of these guys out here. As you can see here, we're already up to 40%. Perhaps later on in the video, we'll show where the awakened are, a good spot for the awakened, but for now we'll just stick with the risen because it just happens to be here. I was like, hey, we're getting one of our weeklies done here, and we don't even have an event going yet. An event hasn't popped up yet. Usually it's like 2 or 3 different types of events that can happen here, like different types of, let's say, objectives that need to be done right in this very same area here by the awakened bridges, or this little peninsula place here. So you can see we're up to 56% already. That's weird. Pet went all the way around instead of just jumping to the side. I guess he can't jump to certain heights. Okay. Also, we like to keep an eye on what we need to collect. Here it's 10 events. 3 events is probably that's the daily. Identify 100 pieces of gear. So let's do that. I'm going to show you something here. For the identifying gear, I don't know about you guys, but I like to always keep like over 100 of the blue and the green, and it's just for this very reason, you know, because you can stack up to 250. So I like to keep, of course, the salvage kits, because according to one video I've seen, it's better to salvage them. You can make more money than if you were to just, let's say, salvage this instead of opening them and then salvaging it, or just selling these outright, you know. So for example, 100, I could knock 100 out, but I'll go 50 and 50. So what you want to do is you want to alt, is that right? Yes, alt, let's do that again. Alt left click and then drag it to another spot, and now you can enter in the amount. So because it's blue doesn't really give you, I'll show you in a moment. I'm going to keep it at 50 because why? Okay, so that separates the 50 here, right? Alt left click and then drag it to another spot. Because when I use this, when I use these, I'm going to right click this and I'm going to choose masterwork or lower, which means green or blue. Okay? Not yet. First we have to open it up, right? So we're going to open it up, use all. There it is. So as you can see here, we got 50 done. And the blue tend to give at most a green, maybe, you know, sometimes 2, but it's kind of rare. and almost never a gold. But the greens, when you open them up, they will give you a gold. I would say about 1 every 25. So if I do 25, if I open up 25, I'll get a gold, sometimes 2. And we'll show you that in a moment. First I'll just salvage all these so you can see here. You can tell because this will be last. If a gold had popped up, the blue choice, the green choice won't do a gold. Won't salvage a gold. So we'll just accept. So we'll run through it. That's weird. What happened? Did I hit the wrong one? Oh, I must have done it already. That's weird. It must have been less than 25. Anyway, so we'll just do this manually here like that. Get rid of that one. And then we'll manually do these. Alright. Okay, so for example, if we opened up all the green, right? Let's say we had 50 greens here. And we did this. They'll salvage everything that's green or blue, but it won't do the gold. So this will be safe. But if we did this, it'll pretty much do everything, and we don't want to do that. You don't want to salvage that because these tend to sell better than whatever you can salvage them for. At least based on other based on research and videos that I've seen about people who have done that. Maybe one day we'll do our own analysis to see what pays better. So, anyways, so we'll do the 50 now. Alt, left, pull it up, and here we'll do 52. Why? Because like I said, there will be 1 or 2 golds that pop up. I can't believe we actually got one of these. That was pretty cool. So we'll do that. There's 52, and now here there's 50, 25, 25. But we'll open these all first. Okay, see, here's one. There's one already there. So we'll use this. We'll salvage all the green. You can see here there's no containers there. Not at 50 anyway. And the last 25 there may be. Here's another one. Okay. So when we do here, there's also no containers because we did 52, not 50. Had we only did 50, opened up 50, it will then take from the blue or the green, depending on whichever one the computer thinks is first on the list, which I believe is the green. So yeah, we'll just accept this for now. And fortunately, it did all of them. See, so it's pretty consistent. It's like 1 per 25. So we hit it right this time. And look, we did the missions accomplished. As you can see here, identify the 100 pieces of gear, easy peasy. Like I said, it's quick because I'm always keeping over 100 per blue green. Not the gold. The gold doesn't matter because I don't remember ever seeing a mission or quest or daily that required that level. So we'll just click that there. The 10 events, usually we'll get it from here. That'll take us a while. It won't be for all in this video, unless maybe I cut it out and compact it. But yeah, this Risen we could probably do now. And the other one, jumping, I'm not doing that because those are a pain in the neck. Veteran, that takes time because you got to find the veterans. There are some around here. And the events in Queensdale, there's a spot there I like too. It's collecting eggs. I'll show you that too. That'll be fun. It's really easy. You just collect eggs and it's like done. The mission's done. When it's there, it's like probably one of the fastest event quests that you can do. It's pretty nice. Okay, I think my dog must be busy. My cat must be busy because I wasn't healing. And usually you heal when you're not in combat, so I must be in combat. Anyway, so yeah, we only need 20, what is it? 27 more of these. Okay. No, what am I talking? 17 more. And we need 9 more events. So yeah, the dailies. We can do this. Harvesting sickle. I'll show you a trick for that too. We could actually go in PvP. There's a spot where there's spots you can get that. So we'll do consume all for these. Oh, I got it. Magic find. That's what I was talking in part 1 of these videos. The magic find that came up. That's cool. So that increased to 188. Do all of these. Get a bunch of these here too. And then we'll set them in storage. There, we'll send them to our bank. That's very convenient. I don't know a lot of other games that do that, actually. That's pretty cool. These will just sell straight away. We'll go there, we'll go sell. And it's pretty much even. When there's too much of a spread, then I won't do it. But as you can see here, the spread is pretty close. Price really went down a lot. It used to be better. And over the last few months, the prices have really kind of crashed. I don't know why that is. All I can think of is maybe there's more players. Not sure. Or maybe somebody put out a video on how to profit by, you know, buying and selling this stuff because the prices went down. It used to be like 25 each. Anyway. So yeah, so that's done. Still no event. Where am I? Oh, I'm inside. The structure built on top of me. So what we'll do is we'll just break it. We'll do an area. There, you see? The structure keeps building on top of me because of this perch. And then all you gotta do is shoot yourself out of it. That's probably why it was like that. So we're almost done with this part of the weekly mission. So this is awfully quick, as you can see it. Because this place is just full of risen. Again, we're in Ore, the ruins of Ore in the Straits of Devastation. And, yeah, we're killing tons of risen here. At least in this area here. And we're already 78% done. 80. And that's not even with an event. With an event, it's much more. It's a lot faster. The event usually there's usually people around here like Priory people on our side to help us, part of the event. But they're not here now. You'll have these little those bots that are usually in Metrica province. So they'll be here. They'll be like part of the Priory. So now we're at 86%. 88. That means we just need a few more. I guess too far. No, they could just go run over there. Okay, 90. Alright, I'll check back here while I restore. 3 events. So like I said, you hit the eye, you left click on the eye, and as you can see here, it'll pop up in your list of objectives. Actually, it'll even say Wizard's Vault objectives. Special. We'll look at those in the future. 45. So we got 5 more to go. There we go. Popping up right there. 10 events. Still no event yet. Oh, let's take us along. I'll get somebody. No. So yeah, also remember, leave a like, subscribe. It helps us out. It's been kind of interesting lately. Our views and well, subscribers have been pretty consistent. You know, increasing slowly, but rising. And our views have been much better lately. So thank you for all of you who are hitting like and subscribing to our videos and maybe putting our videos in your playlists. That helps too. So it's starting to pick up again. Our channel used to be a lot stronger, and I don't know what happened 4 years ago or whatever. We didn't do anything different. My output of videos was the same. I mean, it used to be a lot more frequent than it is now, but without having changed anything, it just like suddenly had this drop, I have no idea why. But anyway, it's picking up again, so thank you again to all of you who have been helping by hitting like and watching the entire video. That also helps.
Yeah, baby!
Also on different devices, I've also heard that helps. Like, some people watch it on their phones or on their TVs or on their computers. And the different devices seems to have an effect on how the videos are, let's say, sent out, or how the video is suggested to people. I don't know how that stuff works. Oh, we got somebody else coming here. I wonder if he has some kind of knowledge about... There's actually a page, I'll see if I can share that with you, where it actually tells you where the events are. Like, you know, the bigger events. You know, like, oh, it's a certain area and who's there. I'll share that page with you, too, when I get a chance. It's pretty cool. It's like has a timer, like how much time is left before the next event and where it is. They have pages like that, so maybe I'll pop it up on the screen here on the side, on the left side. I have to remember to do that. And we're done. We didn't even realize. So here we can actually click on this and it'll pop up the window for us. There it is. I think it's one click, not two. So that's doing it. I got 2 out of 6. This would be 3 out of 6. This, I don't know if I'll do that one. Shiver Peak Mountains. That's good. We'll do that. That'll be 4 out of 6. 50 vet. That might be a tough one. 5 and 6 out of 6. It's just the veteran ranks. That's in PvP. Usually the guards. Those are veterans. So you could just like, we could hang out maybe in PvP and do 50 guards. The problem is you always have these enemies like wiping us out because we're not a meta build, as they say, meta setup. And we're not maxed out on everything, so we kind of get bashed pretty easily in PvP. Yeah. Oh, built up top of us again. Okay, so I'll break this structure down. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so, well, we don't need to stay here anymore except until the event comes, and I don't know where the event is or when it starts. Not around here anyway. So, we'll jump over to... Where is it? I don't see it here on my list. Oh, the 10 events. There's another little trick I'll tell you for events. To do events really quick... we won't do Shiver Peak yet, or the other, even though we can do, that's like a 2 for 1, we can do the events here and it'll count for here, I'll show you right now. If we press M, you can, go to your map, and if we go to the Heart of Maguma, if you have it, I did buy it. The Path of Fire, I believe it's called. So, in the Auric Basin, like if you go to, before the major event happens here, I think it's like once every 2 hours. Before the major event happens here, if you go, let's just jump over there now. There's a part that happens like about 10 minutes before the event, the major event happens. There'll be like other things that you need to be done. Like for here, you need to do the side quests. Not necessarily, the event will happen anyway, but here looks like somebody's been doing it. As you can see, the chest here and here, they'll only appear when these other event missions happen or are completed. The chests will start popping up. So, for example, it hasn't started yet, but when the event wants to start or is expected to start, about 10 minutes before, you'll see a little floaty icon here thing with one of these glowy knights will be here, and it's like a little mini game. You jump in, you have to like kick some mushrooms into the bigger mushroom, or you have to like do a little jumping. It's like super easy and super quick. Usually they take like a minute, at the most a minute. Each of these little mini games is an event. And usually in the north and in the south, it take about 6 of them. They'll have to be done about 6 times, and you can do all 6 times because as soon as they finish, you could jump in right again and do the next one. So right there, that's 6 events. So like here, I have 10. That would be like 7 events. I'll have 7 done already. If I would just like do nothing and wait for that. And then when you go to the front door of the of the major event, just breaking the door down, it's very fast. You got to be ready there. That's another event, breaking the door down. So that would be 6, 7, and then actually doing the event is another one. That would be 8. And also before the event. Now that's the thing. When you're doing these little mini events, there's also like these monsters that come out, like mini group events, where like these bigger monsters come out, which you have to defeat. You probably won't be able to do both because they kind of happen at the same time. Not necessarily, but I've noticed they do. So if you can get these done, you jump over, you run over like you'd run over here. Let's see, let's go over here. You run over to the front door of the of where the door will go down because it'll close up. What's the heck's going on? Yeah. See, there's another event now nearby. So, like, here's the front door. Now it's open, but it'll close before the event starts because the invasion. And just breaking this door is an event, and then when you go inside, and you have to have, of course, like a lot of people here to get done. It cannot be done without, like, I don't know, 10 to 15 people on each door. It's very, very difficult if you don't have it. It's a pretty tough event. Definitely requires a group. I would dare say it's impossible solo or just with a few people, because even if you did one section, it's synchronized where you only have like a minute and a half to knock all 4 doors at the same time on the inside. So the outer doors, they don't need to be done at the same time. So yeah, so let's get the other chest. It's over here. So like I said, this is a great spot if you have it to do those mini game events, and it's really fast. You can basically do like 6 of them in 10 minutes or less, which is amazing. 6 events. I mean, that could take you a week if you do it in like just the normal events way to do it. So wait a minute, if this chest is here, that means I can get the other chest. Because this is part of the chain back here, this mission, see? There's another chest. You gotta be careful here, there are raptors. And they can be really nasty. Sometimes they're really easy, but I don't know why sometimes they're really nasty. And here's, of course, the end part of this mission. And since I do have the sickle, do I have the sickle? Yeah, I have the harvesting sickle. So we'll do that now. Where is it? So we'll grab these sickle stuff here. Okay. Mithril. Muscles like don't sell for anything. I don't know if they do now, but when I started collecting mussels, it's like they never sold for anything. Just a couple of years ago they didn't. So I'm not gonna waste time on the mithril right now. We'll get this one and more mussels. You guys like mussels? I don't actually like mussels. I don't like seafood so much, except for like baked clams. Other than that, so, I don't like it. Okay, I don't see any more sickle stuff. So let's jump over now and let's kind of switch gears, so to speak, and we're gonna go for the sickle stuff while we're at kind of like in a quiet moment. So here's another trick. It's a free travel trick too. So we'll go to world versus world, and we'll go. Usually want to go like eternal battlegrounds. You can pretty much do any of these 4, and I'll show you why in a moment. Because not at the main area. This is the main starting zone, right? Where you can also travel for free to the Lion's Gate. This is kind of like a free travel trick. But here in the main zone, you'll have your trader, your banker, you have all this stuff, and you can do it for free. I'll make a video on that, I think, too, by the way. But anyway, the point is, we want to get the sickle. There's nothing here, but there is here. And there's usually, I mean, usually we'll have the, for the Eternal Battlegrounds, each one will have their, well, here it's contested, but each, let's say, color or faction, we'll just zoom over here. We'll have something taken, their nearest one taken, and that's a teleportable zone. And what does it have? It has easy mineable stuff. Here I will mine all of them. Okay, so here, what's nice about this is it tends to have like an assortment of things to collect, nodes to collect from, say like lumber. Sometimes they'll only have like sickle stuff, or maybe just one lumber or ore. This one happened to have all of them, so that's good. So now we'll zooming out again. Sometimes it won't be active, like here, like the green guys. They're being contested, and the red as well. But fortunately, I happen to have the blue one, so that's good. So I could run over and look for these because the sickle is the most common of the nodes. Like the ore and the lumber isn't as common to go. So if it was like quickly near. Also the main area, well, this is contested, so we'll probably die if we try, because this is in the second floor where they have all the nodes inside the building. It's on the second floor. So it would be worth, let's say, running over if it was kind of peaceful. As you can see here, it's also being contested. So it's probably just a death run. Although we would be able to kill maybe some guards and get the veteran part of it. So you got to kind of think of all the missions, of all the dailies that you have to do, or weeklies. But anyway, so if we zoom out, you can see, all right, since we're blue, does the blue have any other ones? So we'll look here. And we don't see, oh, here's one. See, like here's the blue. This is the main base. That you won't have anything at the main base, but the other areas, if they have a transporter or a waypoint, I should say, they will have nodes. So let's zoom over here. We'll quickly zap over here. It's also free transports in the World vs. World, and we run straight ahead, and there they are. See, it's not contested. You wouldn't be able to transport to if it was contested anyway. So this will be a sickle, and this will be a sickle. Here we get some lumber, and it'll be random. Like the lumber won't be the same. You see, you'll have different lumbers, different ores, and these have some rare. Also, they can pop up sometimes some rare things. And great. So you can see here with the sickle, we're already up to 70%. That's nice. I think that was the daily. Okay, so if we look here again, we check the other zone on this side, the blue. Yeah, the blue, and we got this one here too. See, this is the main spot up here, close to the back side, and this one will be the one with the nodes. And here it will be against the outside, toward the outer door here, back here. And as you can see there's the vegetable node, and lumber, sickle. Cool, so there's 3 sickles here, we'll be done. We'll do the lumber anyway, because it's right here, you know, it's free money. And free gold. And this would make it 90 and 100. So this worked out really well. It doesn't always happen that the faction owns these, you know, these other areas. Oftentimes you won't be able to teleport to it. And now to get out, well, we'll claim it first. Great, 2 out of 4. Oh, that was the daily then. Okay, so we'll light this up for 3 events. Must have unclicked it. And the weekly was still on 1 event. Okay, so that's done. And what we'll do is now to get out of here, one of the ways, instead of running all the way back to home base, in other words, you can go to any home base like here or here, and then taking the gate to Lionsgate. to get back to your original place where you first left, like we were in Maguma by the city of Tarir, what you do is you hit it again, and if you look here on the bottom right corner, it says leave the mists. And basically it means this whole area, the mists, this whole zone is the mists. So it doesn't matter where. And we started here and then we jumped over here. So you leave here and it's a free travel. And see, we're going back to the Auric Basin. So basically, what you could do is, you just zap to World vs. World anywhere, any of those first four. Here, I'll show you again. Like here, you go any of these four, and in the main base, you'll have access to the bank or the trader, and you can actually get stuff that you need, like supplies and stuff like that, and it won't cost you anything. And then you could go right back here, and that specifically anywhere. So if I was on this rock and I go to the mists or to the World vs. World, it'll set me right back here. So I can leave and, instead of having to, teleport. It's just a little trick. I know it's not a lot of gold to do that. Maybe it's like 1 or 2 or 3 silver. It could be 4 silver depending on the distance. And sell the junk here. Well, that's a little trick to save you money. To save some silver and gold. Long term, it adds up, and when especially if you're new and you don't have a lot, it's a cool little trick. So there's that. So what do we have left now? So we got events, and we'll do the events later. I'll show you. Maybe I'll try to show you that trick here with the mini games, and it still hasn't started yet. So. Here, this is another a big event here. I could join that too. So, but we'll stop here for now. Hope that was helpful. Leave a like, subscribe. It's free to do so for both of them. And like I said, it does help our videos and our channel. So, leave a comment below if you have any other suggestions. Live free, question everything. God bless, and as always, have fun. Cheers.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros. ¡Sí!